Aiman here from ASUS, and we're taking a look at the brand new Transformer Pad Infinity tablet from ASUS. It's the latest in the Transformer Pad line, and it's got some very exciting new features as well as some of the staples of the Transformer series. And of course, looking at any Transformer tablet, we can't forget to look at the signature keyboard dock. Now, I went to some discussion forums as well as Reddit, their ASUS Transformer subreddit, to get some questions, what people wanted to know about the Transformer Pad Infinity, so I'll be covering those questions in this video. But first off, people wanted to know what's so special about the Infinity. It looks a lot like the Transformer Prime, but what sets this one apart is that even though it's got the same 10.1-inch form factor, it's a full HD resolution display. That means 1920 by 1200 resolution. Games look great on this thing. Videos, pictures, reading text like Google Books, all of that looks phenomenal on this tablet. It's also a Super IPS Plus, which goes up to, I believe, 350 nits of brightness. So it's great even for outdoor viewing. It's also got a 178-degree viewing angle, so colors look great no matter what angle you're looking at. It's also got a Corning Gorilla Glass 2 overlay on the glass, so I can take this knife here and just go right at the display. And there isn't a scratch on this thing, as I can show you here. Nothing on that display. Not a scratch. Now, moving forward from here, along the front, we've got a 2-megapixel front-facing camera, great for HD video calls, Google Plus Hangouts, Skype calls, anything like that works great. Along the back, we've got our 8-megapixel shooter with an f2.2 aperture and an LED flash. Now, most tablets don't take great pictures, but this is not most tablets. Looking along the top here, we've got a plastic strip, which is a little bit different than the Prime. This helps to make sure that all your wireless signals are coming through just fine. Wi-Fi and GPS reception is great on this tablet. Looking along here, as I turn the tablet and tilt it, you can see that it's got the same radial spin that you see on the ASUS ZenBook series as well as the Transformer Prime. It might just be me, but it seems a little bit more muted on this tablet than it does on those other devices. It looks great, looks very high quality, feels very high quality. If you swipe your finger across it, it feels very smooth. You don't feel that radial spin. It's a very high quality aluminum construction. There's no flex to this thing. It feels very solid in your hands. And that also helps with one-handed holding. It still feels very comfortable one-handed because there is no flex to it. Looking along the side here, we've got our speaker grill right here on this edge of the tablet. If I tilt it there, you can see it a little bit better. Along this edge, we don't actually have anything along the right edge. Along the left edge, though, we've got our 3.5mm audio jack at the bottom, which is a little bit different than the original Transformer, which had it at the top, which made it kind of awkward when it was in the keyboard dock. So along the bottom makes it work a lot better. Also there, we've got our micro HDMI port for outputting content to a TV or a monitor. And along the middle of this edge, we've got our micro SD slot for expansion. Along the bottom, you've got your port for plugging into the dock or plugging into the USB cable for charging or for connecting to your computer. And also along here, we've got these two little holes that will correspond with the dock to help lock it in. Along the top, we've got a power button right up here. It's raised up a little bit, so it's really easy to find without looking. And next to that, we've got a tiny little LED indicator light, not used for notifications, but for charging. It'll glow orange when it's charging and green when it's fully charged. Along the left edge here, or left for me, it's actually going to be right when you're facing the tablet, we've got our volume rocker, also raised up, not quite as much as the power button, but still very easy to find without looking, and it has a very satisfying click to it when you press it, so you'll know that you're changing your volume. So enough of the tablet, let's take a look at the keyboard dock. The keyboard dock is very similar to what you'll find on the Transformer Prime. They seem almost identical. If you weren't looking for the tiny little differences, you probably wouldn't find any. It's got the same aluminum construction of the tablet, so there's no flex to this thing. It feels very solid. It's also very thin. As you can see here, it's roughly the same thickness, maybe a little bit thinner than the tablet itself. Some differences that you may not know about from the original compared to the original Transformer, it's only got one USB port. The thing is though, it works great with any USB hub. I've hooked up a USB hub, connected a mouse and a keyboard to it with no issue at all. Looking along the side here, we've also got an SD card slot where you can throw in even more expandable memory. Looking along the other edge here, we've got our port for charging. So you'll take that same USB cable and plug it right into the side there. We've got our release clip here where you will plug in the tablet. So if I plug in the tablet, you just line up, there's a little arrow on the base of the dock as well as on the bottom of the tablet. Very small, usually goes by unnoticed, but helps you just slide that tablet right in. It is a little bit stiffer than the original Transformer, but after a little while you will get used to it, no problem. So taking a look at the whole assembly here, is very light, very easy to carry in one hand, very solid, so it doesn't feel weird when you're carrying it even from just a small edge like that. The whole construction is very thin. Let's compare it to the original Transformer. It is quite a bit thinner, as you can see, and what I really like about this new dock is that the hinge is a lot sturdier. So if I compare it to my Transformer here, the Transformer had a little bit of wiggle in the dock hinge. The Prime or the Infinity rather, sometimes I even get them confused, has a lot less wiggle to it. It feels a lot more stable in that dock. And then the hinge here feels a lot lighter. It's easy to press down, whereas the one on the Infinity is a little bit sturdier, but it doesn't actually make it hard to press down, but it still does have a very sturdy feel to it. It doesn't shake when you're pushing it down. It stays wherever you put it. So we'll close both of those up. I had one question on Reddit about the charging cable, actually. So taking a look at the charging cable for the original Transformer and comparing it to the Infinity, one Redditor asked whether or not it was longer. So I can show you here, I've got both of these cables, and as I go here, this is where we reach the end of the original Transformer cable. Some people complained that it was a little bit too short when they were trying to charge their tablet, but if I go farther from here, we've got a lot of extra space on the charging cable for the Infinity. I would say probably about 2.5 to 3 feet longer here with this cable. It will be a lot easier to charge your tablet or have it hooked up to your computer while you're transferring content and still use it at the same time.